Terrible. Welcome back, and let us begin the September 13th, 2021 meeting of the Rotary Club of Jamestown. As a reminder, the board has determined that we should follow CDC guidance in requiring masks to be worn whenever not seated during our meetings. This includes during the pledge, national anthem, and four-way test. Thank you for your participation. Please join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, singing of our national anthem, and repeating the four-way test. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Let us repeat the four-way test. Of the things that we say or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Better friendships.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Our invocation today is given by Sharon Hamilton.
The mask. Let us pray. God, you have warmed our corner of your creation with your love and grace. We thank you for the sun-filled days of summer. The longer days of sunlight are one of your marvelous gifts that teams together with summer activity. Thank you for this wonder of life that you have created and have given us to enjoy. Thank you for the bounty of summer, the produce of gardens and farms. Thank you, God, for the amazing flavor of fine ripened tomatoes, the crisp sweetness of corn on the cob, for the joy of ice cold watermelon and the fragrance of and flavor of peaches. We thank you for the fruits like apples and pears set on the trees still ripening. You have given us such pleasurable provisions, a treat for all our senses as you sustain us with good nutritional food. Help us to remember the people who have worked long hours in the hot sun to tend the crops we are thrilled to consume, along with all people who labor to bring the crops to market to our benefit. Bless the home gardener as well as the commercial farmer with a sense of sharing with you in the work of caring for creation. Thank you, God, for summer's invitation to celebrate life with family and friends. You have taught us the importance of rest and recreation. We thank you for days spent beside and in cooling pools, lakes, and oceans of water. Thank you for opportunities to laugh and play with family and friends on vacations and days off from work routines. Thanks too for the ability to travel and behold mountain vistas, educational spaces, and entertaining venues. As we thrill in the variety of your creation, remind us of the people who struggle with meeting the necessities of daily life. We pray for those who work multiple jobs without vacations in order to make ends meet. We pray that they will find a source of rest and recreation, a respite from their grinding toil. We pray for the people who work to make our enjoyment so easy. Oh God, the delights of summer bear witness to your gracious gifts in every season of life. Thank you for the rhythm of work and rest, of productive striving and quiet relaxation. As days of ease turn to new ventures at school and work or to planning projects for the next season, keep us close to your purposes for us. Help us to see and accept new ways to serve you and to share your grace with others. Show us joys that are unique to each day. Rekindle in our minds the rich treasures of contentment we have accumulated this summer, especially those times shared with brothers and sisters, family, and friends. May our shared experiences open your fresh channels for growing together and thanksgiving for all that you have brought into our lives. Now, God, prepare us for each day that lies ahead. Help us to see your marvelous handiwork in the waning of summer and the procession of the seasons. We await the chill of fall, the splendor of colors, and the earth's time of rest. Fill us with wonder and delight with your loving and gracious provisions for whatever season we are in. We are always in your hands, sheltered in your embrace. Reveal new glimpses of your amazing grace as we commit to each day to renewal, peace, and love. We ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please welcome President-elect John Healy to announce our visiting Rotarians and guests.
On Zoom, we have Rotary Assistant Governor Michelle Starwell Woods, and we have our speaker, Hillary Meyer. Welcome.
I have a laundry list of announcements today, so bear with me. I will get through them as quickly as possible. First, I want to thank the Doubletree food team for all the work that they do, helping us get set up each week. It was especially nice to have the table set this week. Our Rotarially Yours recorder is Lynn Gruel for today. Many thanks to you and the Communications Committee for all you do to help keep our club informed. I want to give a warm congratulations to the golf committee and all their volunteers and everyone who attended for a great turnout this year. Preliminary reports are indicating approximately $6,500 has been raised for RCJCSF. We'll give you a firm number when everything has been tallied. And congratulations to Mike Moots, who will be receiving the Bud Weaver Trophy for his low score. I'd like to thank Michelle Jones for stepping up to chair the social committee. With that, the committee has been hard at work planning and preparing for our upcoming Oktoberfest social gathering, seizing upon an opportunity to both have a social event and a fundraiser. The Oktoberfest event will be on Monday, October 11th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Southern Tier Brewery. The brewery is open to the public, which is why making it a fundraiser was a unique opportunity to, maybe raise some funds from outside the membership as well. Tickets are $25 per person. $10 of each ticket sold goes directly to RCJCSF as part of the fundraiser. You will receive 2 tickets for your purchase of that ticket, but 2 drafts at the brewery and an Oktoberfest themed buffet. We've also secured live music to be performed by Bill Ward. We will be assembling baskets for raffle or auction, and we'll have a 50-50 for sale. Kathy Birch has tickets with her today. They will be for sale at every meeting, or if you want to reach out to us in the meantime, we'll be happy to get those to you. The Vision Committee will have a brief meeting immediately following the conclusion of this meeting today. The current Zoom meeting that's on now will remain live for any committee members wanting to join remotely. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be a panelist for the District 7090 Web Talks, presenting on hybrid meetings and sharing what we've learned in this setting. If you have anything you'd like me to share with the group about that, as we help other clubs figure out a hybrid format, please let me know. The DEI committee will be meeting this Thursday at noon via Zoom. Literacy committee also has a meeting this Thursday at noon, also via Zoom. The board will meet this Friday, 8 a.m. That's in person and available by Zoom. Upcoming on October 2nd is Pedal for Polio. I believe we're still looking for some volunteers to cycle on behalf of the club. AM Rotary cannot do the October 2nd date, so they are going to be doing it on either the 16th or 23rd and are looking for anyone from our club who'd like to join them in pedaling around the lake. Additionally, AM Rotary will be hosting their annual football party on Sunday, October 10th. So that's the day before our Oktoberfest. That information is available on their Facebook page. Ruth Lundeen is looking for volunteers for October 16th for Hands On Neighborhoods. We are sponsoring that event that day, so I'd love to have a great showing from our membership there. Believe they're doing the north side of Jamestown between, do you remember which streets? Ruth has the details. And hopefully I haven't missed anything, but if any committee chairs have announcements.
Can you just let everybody know mock interviews have been moved to January?
So mock interviews have been moved to January, according to Courtney. Anything else for the good of the order? You got it. With that, Sue Jones would like to celebrate birthdays in September.
I will not lecture today on the Rotary Foundation. I'm going to lecture on our foundation, the Rotary Club of Jamestown Community Service. Thank you to each one of you for your contributions to this club, not only in service, but monetarily. Every single cent that you donate to this club, such as our Oktoberfest, or such as playing in the golf tournament, goes to help us do the things that we do best, and that's give back to our community, both here in Jamestown and internationally. Excuse me, I can't possibly name all of the wonderful things that we have done via the Troxels and their travels all over the world. I thank them for introducing me to the school in Cambodia. I have adopted a child and have supported him for the last 5 years. And it has been great fun watching him grow. And not only physically, but educationally, it's been a pleasure. But we also participate in the eradication of polio worldwide, our international youth exchange, which has brought so much joy to the homes here in this community that have hosted these kids, who have touched these kids and are still maintaining. I did a birthday message to Niels Berman just this weekend. We still communicate with the other side of the world through these children, and they're no longer children, they're young adults. Our literacy projects in local schools, libraries, and churches. Last week was Literacy Day, Read a Book Day, and I forgot to put it on the website, but I really thank this club and Rotary for making my life more cognizant of the written word. I don't miss a chance to read the Gazette and the Post Journal, but without fail, every night, even if it's only 2 pages, I read something to bring me to a different part of the world or a different part of life. And it's been inspiring for me. We have done much work in supporting local COVID relief programs, and I pray to God we don't have to do it again. Wear your mask and get your shots. We have also supported Chautauqua's music scholarships, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, Student Leadership Awards, and of course, very dear to all of our hearts is Camp Aniasa's experience for the developmentally disabled. And all of this is due to your generosity. So when somebody says, will you buy a ticket? Will you sell a ticket? Think about what you're doing. It's much easier to buy a ticket for $25 than to drop $100 or $1,000. And the more support that we have, including people from the outside world who are not members, it gives us a chance to spread the word what we do But most importantly, every single one of those people that you invite to join us for a Rotary event may eventually be a Rotarian, because the most important thing you should do is ask them if they would like to join Rotary. We can always use more people to fill these chairs. So enough said. Today we're going to talk about September birthdays, and this is my favorite month. Well,
When's your birthday? I don't know.
my son was born on the same day as Randy Sweeney. There you go. Our first birthday was celebrated on September 4th, and that's Kathy Birch. Kathy is the finance officer for the Gebby Foundation. We thank you for all you and your organization do. This community would be hard pressed without the Gebby Foundation. She attended Jamestown Community College and Houghton College. She's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. She's transferred from the Oleam Club. Many of you may not know that she was the president there. Yes, and that's where she earned her Paul Harris Fellow. We're delighted to have you, and we hope you had a happy birthday past. Next, we have Russ Eklund, and his birthday was September 5th. And I just found out, may I say, Russ?
Yes.
Russ is 87 years old. And Russ played in the golf tournament. Go Russ! He is the retired president of Ellison Bronze, which was metal manufacturing. He's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member, and he is the proud owner of 2 Paul Harris Fellows. Thank you very much. Stacy Hannon, her birthday was September 7th. She is the publisher and owner of Jamestown Gazette. She attended Jamestown Community College. She's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. She is a past president in 2009, 2010. She was sponsored by Sharon Hamilton. Thank you very much, Sharon. And she has 2 Paul Harris Fellows. Happy birthday, Stacy. Happy birthday to Randy Sweeney, who celebrated this weekend, I hope. He is the retired executive director of the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation. He attended Jamestown Community College and SUNY at Fredonia. He's a member of the Paul Harris Sustaining Club. He was sponsored by Dudley Erickson, and he has 2 Paul Harris Fellows, one in 2004 and 2017. Happy birthday, Randy. John Healy's birthday is tomorrow, the 14th. He is now employed at the Southern Tier Builders Association. Is that executive director? Ah, there you go. He is a graduate of the University of Mount Union and the Franciscan University of Steubenville. He is a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. He is our president-elect. He was sponsored by Vince Horrigan, and he is the father of 4 sons. Oh, I give you credit for that every day. Happy birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to my daughter-in-law, Michelle Jones, who will celebrate on September 18th. And thank you very much for stepping up to the plate and volunteering to be social chairman. She said she's thrilled with all the wonderful volunteers on the committee. So she said, Kevin shouldn't have to do this. I will do it, which is the way we should be in Rotary. She is vice president and office manager of the Lakewood branch of Northwest Bank. She attended Houghton College and got her master's at St. Bonaventure University. She's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. She was sponsored by Lisa Yagi, her dear friend. She is a Paul Harris Fellow in 2019, and we had a wonderful weekend watching Syracuse lose. Bill Larson, September 24th is your birthday. How many this year? What birthday is it this year?
95.
Oh, holy mackerel. Hey, Rush, you got something to look up to. Yes, indeed. Yes. If you didn't hear that, Swedes live a long life. He is a wonderful artist. He retired from an advertising agency, long time in Jamestown, Janethus Larson. He attended the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. He's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member, past president in 1980, 81, and he was sponsored by Harold Griffith. Not many people know Harold, and it's a delight just to remember his name. He is also a Paul Harris Fellow twice in 1985 and 2014. Happy birthday, Bill. And someone who has not physically been in this room, been in our meetings for 2 years, is Lisa Yagi. And she took the time, yes. She took the time today. Is it a fork? If it's a fork, that means company's coming and I don't want any. She is the Senior Human Resources Business Partner of Refresco Beverages. We've not been there. We're all coming for a tour. She attended Allegheny College. She has her BA in economics from there in 1991. She's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. She was sponsored by Harry Nicholson, another name from our past. She was president in 2007, 2008, assistant district governor in 17, 18, and she has 2 Paul Harris Fellows, 2008 and 2014. Happy birthday on the 29th. And I know that because I share that birthday. My birthday is the 29th. And I am retired from the Board of Public Utilities. And I can't believe it's been that long. I just can't believe it. 13 years ago. I am a nurse by profession. I attended Amundsen Major College in Chicago. I am a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member. Dudley Erickson sponsored me. I was president in 2011, 2012, and I have 4 Paul Harris Fellows. And so, oh boy. That's my present, I think. Well, Ross Eklund, you're the winner of a free lunch. So now we're going to sing to my favorite thing, the September Sapphires. You don't have to say September, just the Sapphires, okay? Excuse me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sapphires. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
As always, Sue does a great job with the birthday tables. I think it's time for 50-50. What do you think?
$42.
$42 to the winner. Last 4 digits, 4654, purple ticket. Yay, Irene Dobies. And if we can give a warm hand to our Sergeant at Arms, Doug Conroe. He'll do Happy Bucks and we'll follow that with some, or we'll do fines. We'll follow that with Happy Bucks.
Follow that. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we will. And Labor Day holiday was here and everybody took a holiday, so I don't have anybody to find. But I'm sure I can think of something. At first, I'll express my appreciation to David, Tori, and Russ for not being able to be here and making up for it graciously with our presidents, Hamilton and Lincoln. And Russ has to leave early, so he's kindly helped us out there too. So that makes up a good bit. Let me see though. one of our members was pictured in regard to the Tim Grace Fund. Right, Lisa? Right. Good job there with Chautauqua Blind Association. Thank you. Is anyone here from Lakeshore Savings today? No, I don't see it today. They really helped out with the hospice house. Courtney, photogenic Courtney. In today's Gazette, she made the front page and she made back in 2 photos back further in. That's got to be worth at least $20. I don't know. But don't sit down, my dear. Okay, she'll do it at Happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, well, they had the anniversary. They had the recommittal of vows. But David didn't bring her to this meeting, so what happened? So your 40th anniversary, you are pictured in today's Gazette? Yes, you are, you and Marissa. So we will graciously receive your donation. Yeah. Okay. And this is the point where I really miss Lucy, because right now I'd say a little football music, Lucy. And it's football season. You got it. Do we have a Clemson graduate here? I know we have a Clemson member. There he is. Hey. Cincinnati by chance? Notre Dame, Mike Moots is not here, but okay. Penn State, John's not here, but any other Penn Staters? Must have some. Wisconsin. I know we have a Kent grad or 2, don't we, Vince? And I'm the other one. And while you're up here, Vince, Air Force won too. They beat Navy. Whoa. Duquesne and Lisa, welcome back. And I know you want to honor your sponsor, Harry Nicholson, who was a Kentucky grad. And Kentucky won. Spud, I wish you were here in person, but Michigan. Any other Michigan grads? Ah, Mac. Okay. But a fan. I think we might have a Duke grad, and Michigan State both won. I mean, we know Spud is Michigan State, but we have to pose chain now.
Say Capital University.
I did not say Capital,
Well,
but I'd be
Capital
glad to add it
There
to
we
it.
go, Capital University.
Because I was at the end, I was going to say, if we missed some, they don't publish them as well before as they used to. We used to get wonderful listings, and now it's a great fishing expedition. And I'll end with West Virginia. Any West Virginia grads? We get a lot of people in this area go to West Virginia. So that about does it today, President Kevin. And Courtney said she had happy bucks, and perhaps there's some more.
This week is National Small Business Week, so I ask you to shop local at your favorite small business. Last week, we created a new award that we're going to give out every year called the Entrepreneur of the Year Award. We gave it to 4 individuals from our area last week, including Hector over at the Hotspot Cafe. So I've got $1 for each one of those recipients. And even though we lost yesterday, I still think the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl. So $1 for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, my happy buck is for Kathy Birch, who I probably have asked her 100 questions since I've been chair of the Vision Committee, and she's been so gracious, and thank you.
My happy buck is for technology. So I sent Jake Schranz a quick text message, and he is more than happy to ride and probably ride with other Rotarians. I look out, some of you are Jake's friends and you also ride bikes. So just let me know and we'll get Jake looped into riding for us.
I'm just here on behalf of the United Way. Last Thursday was our official campaign 2021 kickoff. So you'll hear more about that as the year progresses. And thanks to Dave Painter as past president for the dollar, as I had $0 in my wallet.
Little different twist today. Talking about universities and colleges and grandkids going to school and the college, I couldn't help think as I passed Kurt I was going to get some food today. We don't stop and thank ourselves, the community, for JCC. What a wonderful university. I am delighted with what I accomplished there. My son accomplished there. So I'm going to put $2 in for JCC. And I might want to challenge the rest of you if you've got yourself or kids, grandkids, the kid next door, whatever, to put in $1. So.
I had a problem the other day, a problem that I couldn't resolve. Just keep coming, fill it up. There's room for one more. You're coming, okay? But the problem I couldn't resolve, so I just couldn't do it myself. It was impossible, but it was a problem I was responsible for. So I turned to Rotary and got the problem resolved. I picked up the telephone and I called Alstrom Schaefer. And next thing I know, a young man by the name of Sandberg showed up, and it was a Rotary touch, but it was a marvelous touch. And thank you, thank you, thank you. My problem has disappeared and it has become a very bright light. Thank you. Oh, I forgot my mask. Oh, I got some. You didn't give me a mask to wear today, but I forgot to get it at the door.
I got $2 today. My wife's birthday is today, 84 years old. So we bought her a big cake, going out for dinner tonight, bought her breakfast this morning. And the other thing is, I walk the campus every day, walk around the ponds there, me, my wife, and my dog. We miss Sundays once in a while because it's cramped for time to get to church, but what a nice place, what a nice campus.
I have a little JCC segue too. Many years ago, I was attending JCC, and a friend of mine, a couple of friends, Dennis Drew and Steve Gustafson, you might know from the 10,000 Maniacs, we started a small radio station. And it was a lot of fun. It only basically reached about a mile or two, but we had a lot of fun with the programming and everything. And then fast forward about 15, 17 years ago, Dennis had kind of got WRFA off the ground, and he asked me to be on the advisory board. So I have been. Dennis is retired recently, but on your tables, they're having a fall fund drive for a few more days. If you listen to the station and you'd like to support it, if you go to the $50 level, you get a t-shirt. If you don't know about the station or you don't listen to us, a lot of good local programming, interviews, debates and things. So tune it in, please. I'm glad to be back at the stadium. I'm 30-some year season ticket holder member. A little disappointing yesterday, but glad to be back at normal capacity. And my final buck is for Lacey Yagi. She is one great Rotarian.
Any happy bucks from Zoom?
I just
right.
wanted to echo Randy's happy buck for JCC and in honor of his birthday. So I put it in online.
Thank you, Mary. Michelle?
I have one. It's actually in the form of a request, and I'll put the mailing address into the chat. One of our long-term Rotarians from the Dunkirk Fredonia Rotary Club, his name is Jim Rawcliffe. We awarded him our Paul Harris Fellow Person of the Year this year. He's in Roswell. He is preparing for the end of his life. I go up and see him once a week, and then I also have him Zoom in with some of his longtime Rotarian friends. But if anybody could send cards to him, he's very well prepared to go to his eternal home, but he is pretty lonely there, and he cannot leave his room. He cannot take rides back to Fredonia like he was hoping to do. So he's very well read. He still has 100% brain function. And if anybody could send cards of well thoughts and thankfulness of him being a long-term Rotarian, that would be great. And like I said, I'll put the address into the chat.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
With that, it is my pleasure to welcome Kirk Young, Chair of the Program Committee, who will introduce our guest presenter for today. For those attending by Zoom, reminder, you are welcome to ask questions during the Q&A by voice or by typing your questions into the chat.
Thank you, Kevin. Randy, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words about JCC. And anyway, it's my pleasure to introduce Hillary Meyer, our speaker today for the program. Hillary is a native Western New Yorker, having graduated from Jamestown High School. She completed her bachelor's degree in film and video production at Rochester Institute of Technology, and then went on to work in the film and television industry in New York City for 12 years. She and her family then moved back to Jamestown, where she began working for the then Arts Council of Chautauqua County and Civic Center as their part-time bookkeeper. After mergers and major renovations at the Reg, Hillary became the interim executive director at the end of 2019 and officially accepted the role in June of 2020 in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. So please join me in welcoming Hillary as our program speaker today.
I've got a couple happy bucks for you too. If you don't take your can away yet. Just to say, I'm very happy to be here. That's my happy buck there, and an extra buck for my oldest daughter will be 16 this Wednesday, 2 days away. So I'm very happy for that. Maybe she'll start driving soon. So okay. So it is an extreme pleasure to have this opportunity to speak to the distinguished members of the Rotary today. I'm always happy to talk about my home away from home, the Reg Linné Center for the Arts. I'll provide a little historical perspective and tell you about how we've managed through the COVID pandemic and how we're moving into the future while still facing the economic impact that it's brought. Many of you are familiar with the Reg by attending our events or movies. I see a lot of familiar faces, so I love it. Thank you. And perhaps you've been on a tour of our recently renovated facilities. I'll give you a quick overview since it's important to know that the Reg will soon be celebrating its centennial anniversary in 2023. It's also a story of rebuilding, which is a cyclical theme with our organization. The theater originally opened as the Palace Theater in February of 1923 as a high-class vaudeville house. It would show comedy and feature films before and after its 2-a-day vaudeville shows. I can only imagine the energy thrumming throughout the building at that time. By the 1930s, the theater changed owners a few times and phased out live performances and increased film screenings. In 1950, Dibson Theaters owned and remodeled the facilities and brought back stage shows and orchestras. Some of you may recall that the world premiere of Forever Darling, starring Lucy and Desi, happened in Jamestown at the Palace in 1956. I've seen photographs of the throngs of fans in front of the theater, and it rivals those we see in Hollywood to this day. By the 1980s, the Palace experienced a decline in attendance, and the theater itself was in a state of dilapidation and in desperate need of repairs. Take note of this, as we know that history has a tendency to repeat itself. The folk rock singer-songwriter Harry Chapin performed on our stage in 1981 to raise awareness about the dire conditions of the Palace. As the true tale goes, it rained on the stage and the audience during the performance. Chapin vowed to return if Jamestown would organize an effort to save and repair the building. Unfortunately, Chapin died in a car accident that next month, but the spark of an idea to save the palace was there. Citizens, along with the support of the Gebby Foundation, banded together to repair the theater. A capital campaign in the late 80s began with an early donation from the Reginald and Elizabeth Lene Foundation, and the palace was officially renamed the Reg Lene Civic Center. In 1990, the Reg reopened after receiving a League of Historic American Theaters Award for its restoration. For several years, the Civic Center operated side by side with the Arts Council for Chautauqua County. Both organizations saw significant growth with arts and education programs and art galleries. And it's impressive to note that two major organizations' roots began at the Reg and the Arts Council. And that would be both the Infinity Performing Arts and the Lucy Desi Museum, as well as the Comedy Festival, began with us. And we're proud to continue building those partnerships to this day. By 2012, the economic landscape had changed significantly, and the boards of both the Arts Council and the Civic Center decided to merge their organizations into one. The merger was completed in October of 2013, and the Reg Lene Center for the Arts was born. I was there for that. A major renovation to the Reg's facilities was completed in 2018, which encompassed new office spaces, 3 radio recording studios, new box office and concessions areas, and new spaces to provide more opportunities for growth and income potential, like the Media Art Studio and party rental spaces. Soon after the renovations, an arts consulting group assisted the Center for the Arts with strategic planning. Our newly energized board of directors, under the leadership of Maria Kinberg, immediately went to work implementing the strategies with keen eyes on fiduciary oversight of the organization. Which brings us to why you've seen me here today. I became the interim executive director of the Reg in October of 2019. We had a successful grand reopening of our facilities, a comedy stand-up performance with Paula Poundstone, and a holiday themed concert with Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. February of 2020 brought the incredible magic and mastery of illusions, Jason Bishop, to our stage. And March was even better. The organization held its first sponsorship auction event in which we garnered sponsors for every single Reg Presents event and movie series in 2020. That was on Thursday, March 12th. On Friday, March 13th, New York State mandated that any events with 500 or more individuals had to be canceled. With 2 nearly sold out shows expected on that Sunday, the 15th and Monday, the 16th, our staff began the difficult process of calling every ticket holder to announce the cancellation of the family and school performances of Earth's Prehistoric Adventure. Well, we all know what happened next, right? It's like knowing the end of a play, a book, or a movie. You know what's coming, but the anticipation of how it's going to get there keeps building. Or in our case, the anxiety is what kept building. The center had been mandated to close its doors before any other school, restaurant, or business was directed to do so. Our community-supported radio station, WRFA, as Mark just mentioned, was named an essential business, and they continued to operate to update our residents, providing local access to information about this new fast-spreading illness and where to get assistance. Excluding WRFA, all but 2 staff were laid off. Of course, we all thought it to be very temporary, a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and we'd all be back to business. Letters, numbers, and previously unheard acronyms like COVID-19, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, PPE, PPP, and SOS quickly became commonplace in our lexicon. PPE and phase 2 grants were quickly dispersed from our local community foundations. A PPP loan was received. Preparation and survival were the words that kept us going. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, the Reg board had enough confidence in me to appoint me as the official executive director. We learned the New York designated phases of reopening. We were phase 4, of course, and its start was pushed further and further away from the other 3. Fortunately, we were able to bring back staff. So during that time, we developed a how to reopen safely strategy. With over 30,000 square feet within our facilities, you can imagine the challenge there. If you visit us now, you will see those plans in action. Socially distanced floor markers, color-coded tape lines directing patrons to the box office, concessions, or entry to the theater. And the now familiar plexiglass screens separate staff from guests, and there are hand sanitizing stations throughout the facilities. Guidance changed daily, but when New York State announced last October that theaters could reopen to show movies with a small capacity, we taped off rows of seats and made sure all the seating was 6 feet apart between patrons. But then Chautauqua County was listed as one that was not permitted to open. So how much longer could we sustain our operations as our PPP loan was running out? So we pivoted. Some movies could be downloaded to view at home, while portions of those ticket sales went to the Reg. We hosted online movie trivia, which we branded Quarren Trivia, as an easy and fun way to fundraise while connecting with our audiences. We planned and executed a Home for the Holidays virtual concert with local and regional musicians and streamed it for free as a gift to our community as they sheltered at home during the potentially lonely and difficult holiday season. Donors responded with monetary gifts in return. At the end of 2020, the PPP funds had been depleted and staff had once again been laid off. While our eventual reopening was unknown at that time, we took heart that our theater and organization was important enough to our community's foundations who granted support for 2021. So 2021 brought the vaccine. It brought federal support for the arts via the American Rescue Plan Act, and we were slowly able to bring back staff to start rescheduling our lost 2020 Reg Presents season. Spring brought fewer positive cases in our area and we could finally reopen. We were only permitted 50 patrons in our 1,200 seat theater, but it didn't matter. We could reopen. Another plan was hatched. We began a Fill Our Seats campaign in which a person could donate to the Reg, send in a photo, which would then be printed on a large cutout and placed in a theater seat, hence filling our seats that couldn't be filled with real patrons. Of course, as I mentioned earlier about history repeating itself, we began to find evidence of roof leaks throughout the theater. Puddles formed backstage, plaster walls began crumbling, and a bucket full of rainwater had to be emptied frequently from our balcony. It was time to replace our roof. We just reopened after being closed for 17 months. We couldn't possibly close again. So thankfully, local and regional funders were there to support this capital project. Our roof has been replaced in past August, and the plaster walls are scheduled for repair. We are starting to look good as new for being almost 100. Though this pandemic has been extremely hard for many businesses, the arts were hit for the longest period of time. We are fortunate the recovery effort this year has been very good to the Reg. We received a federal grant from the Small Business Administration's Shuttered Venue Operators Fund and 2 smaller grants from the New York State Council on the Arts. Our shows are rescheduled for the remainder of this year and into 2022. On your tables, there's a flyer of what's happening recently in our upcoming shows. And so just a quick little description of all of them. So we have coming up, we have Sing Along a Sound of Music on October 23rd, followed by our annual late night showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show the week after. Both are opportunities for patrons to dress up and partake in costume contests while enjoying a classic cinema experience. In November, we have the Broadway touring production of $1 Million Quartet, the story and musical telling of famed recording session with Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins. In December, we joined the Peanuts gang for a live performance of family favorite, A Charlie Brown Christmas. January will bring the acrobatics of Cirque Mechanics back to the Reg stage for a new show called Birdhouse Factory. And in March, 2 years after the initial cancellation, we'll have Earth's Dinosaur Zoo. And rounding out the season, the Reg will present a favorite from TV's America's Got Talent, Catapult's Magic Shadows, where dancers create magical shadow silhouettes. And expect to see a thoughtfully curated movie series and popular films throughout the season. So finally, the Reg and other local institutions need the community as much as the community needs them. With COVID variants taking the local headlines, it's worrisome that venues may have to face closing again. Please support them so they can stay open. And the mantra that everyone I'm sure has been saying, wear a mask, get a vaccine, and please support local businesses again. So thank you again for this opportunity. if you can, there's also on your tables, there's a survey, just a quick 4-question survey that I can pick up at the end. If you could please answer it, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Yes, Mark. Thank you.
I think our club was pretty active in the renovation of that. Yeah, so we were a big part of it. And it's great to see something like that.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, I'm not, a lot of my history I've just read from books and our website, so it's good to know. Thank you. And also just wanted to note, like, not only were we closed and, lost business that way, but a lot of our local our other partners couldn't have their shows that they usually do, like the Comedy Festival. We usually have a stand-up showcase there provided by the National Comedy Center. And the Resource Center always has the Sprout Film Festival, and that couldn't happen. Roger Torrey Peterson Institute always does the Banff Film Festival every year, and that couldn't happen. We have graduations that couldn't happen in our theater. There's lots of other shows and events that happen in our theater that's not just Reg Presents. So, think about all those other organizations that weren't able to push their message out to the public as well. So. Okay. No other questions? Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this time here. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. One of Rotary's major international programs is the eradication of polio in the world. We are down to just 2 countries in the world where polio exists. In honor and thanks for your presentation to our club today, we will make a donation in your name that will vaccinate 4 children who will never experience polio in their life. Remembering this year's Rotary International theme, Serve to Change Lives. Caring for and serving others is the best way to live because it changes not only other people's lives, but also our own. Thank you, and we are adjourned.
Thank you.